and welcome to Fusion Yoga. We'll let everybody enter into the class and get ready to go. So you just need a yoga mat today, and if you have a yoga block and a yoga belt or any kind of belt, that will be great for helping you with alignment or getting deeper into a pose as we go through this class today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful week. I can't believe the week is just flying by again as usual. So a little yoga to really restore our bodies, to work on mobility and stability. So for those of you who are just joining me for the first time, what is Fusion Yoga all about? Well, I have different backgrounds doing yoga classes, and then really came a way to balance my fitness training with a gentler style of yoga. And then I started to study Hatha yoga, practice Iyengar, and then eventually Yin yoga. And so today is a fusion of many styles of yoga into one class. The other thing that you'll experience is I'll integrate some Pilates work into it. So some of our Pilates core conditioning into our yoga practice. So you'll see that infusion of core as we go through the practice today. So we'll give everyone another minute to come into class, and then we'll begin. So the way that the class is organized is we always start with what I like to call an awakening series. And the awakening series is to awaken the body, to get the body and the nervous system ready to settle our breath, to settle our minds, and prepare. Then we'll go into what's called a warming series, and then from the warming series we'll go into our challenging standing poses, and then we'll come back down and bring it into our seated and restorative poses as we come down. So we'll go for about 40-45 minutes in the practice today. So good to see so many of you. Thank you for waving at me, and thank you for coming back for another class with me. So let's begin seated. So we're going to come into a seated position. I'm going to sit on a block. I find that just helps me with my hips. I'm very tight through my hips when I come to a seated position. So if you can sit up on something and you know you've got tight hips, this will just help release some of that tension. And let's just come to our breathing to begin with. One hand to the top of your chest, one to the abdominal wall. And let's take a breath in, full breath. Feel how the chest elevates and the abdominal wall moves outwards. And as we exhale, draw the abdominal wall inwards and let the chest settle. So it's expansion breath as we inhale, and then exhale. Alright, so that expansion, allow the abdominals to move out, the rib cage to lift, and then as you exhale, everything softens back down. So it's a natural movement of breath with our bodies. So yoga breath is typically gone through the nose, in through the nose and out through the nose. But if you feel more comfortable breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, feel free to come to your comfortable breath. Let the arms just float down by the side of your body and let your head come side to side. So just a gentle releasing, right? So that easing into it. And now let's add the upper body. So reach over, inhale up and over. So again, just exploring where the body may feel some tension as we go through this. I want you to observe which leg you naturally put in front when you sat down to cross your legs, because we're going to change it in a moment and see if it just feels unusual. Right? So balancing out every little detail in our body, and then come to the center. Bring the arms in front, contract and curve the spine. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curve. Inhale, lengthen. 2 more times. Exhale, curving. Inhale, lengthening. 1 more time. Exhale, curving. Inhale, lengthening, and open the arms out. And then walk your hands forward so the body can come forward over the legs. And let yourself just melt forward. And for some of you, it'll be very easy to go into that forward bend because our mobility of our hips. For others, it's going to be a little more challenging. So if you're finding that it's challenging to go into that forward bend, really focus to your breathing. Try to keep the breath long, slow, and deep. Your breath is an indication of how your body will hold stress or anxiety. So if you're finding your breath becomes short and labored, it means your physical body's in stress. So ease off until you can find your breath again. And then bring yourself upright, and let's switch the cross of the leg and just see how that feels. It's like, different, right? It's different. Let the head just go side to side. So we start where we started before, on the opposite side. We just let that sway happening. So remember, this is just our awakening series, just getting the body ready. So for those of you who just joined us, welcome. And then just side bend. So when we bring in that side bend, so moving the body. You can go at your own rhythm. Doesn't necessarily need to be the rhythm that I'm moving at. Each of our bodies is unique. Right? We want to admire the uniqueness of each of our own bodies and what feels right for us. Yeah, and then come to the center. Take the hands in front, contract and curve. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curve. Inhale, lift. One more time. Exhale, curve. Inhale, lift. Let the arms float down. And then bring your body forward and come over the legs. And as you melt forward, start to let the upper body, the torso, relax. And just notice what's maybe happening in your hips. Notice what maybe you're sensing in your low back. And then breathe into the places of tension. So if you exaggerate the exhalation, it will help you release tension in places of the areas that are tense. So when we go through the rest of the practice today, think about that. Think about how your exhalation can release tension. So if you're holding on, focus to that exhalation. And then slowly roll yourself up. And then just roll the shoulders, releasing tension through the neck and shoulders. Good. And come to center. Inhale up. Exhale, let the arms float down to the center of the body and find your centering. Find your place where you can breathe fully. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Let your arms come down by your side. And let's come around into a kneeling position. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what's happening from a sideways position. If you're on a block, just move your block away to the side. All right, you're going to take your right leg forward into a lunge. And as you come forward into a lunge, you line your shin bone vertically so that you're in a vertical alignment of that lower leg. Fingertips on either side of the front foot. And let your back hip travel forward. So the emphasis is the back hip moving down and the front sitting bone moving towards the mat. Find your lunge, walk one hand onto your thigh, and then gently assist yourself up so that the hips keep moving forward as we come into a slight back extension. Now this might be the first back extension of the day, so go easily, go gently into it. You can stay supported or reach both arms up overhead and lengthen and open the chest and breathe. Let the hands come down on either side of the front foot and then gently pull the hips back as the toes rise up. Fold the body forward and down. And just holding it there, breathing into it. Now the front leg may straighten or may not. Just go to where it feels right for you. And then lunge forward again. And we're going to make this dynamic. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Come forward again. On your next inhalation, rise up. Let the arms come down. Exhale to draw back. And then coming forward again. One more time. Reaching up. Now stay here. Now the same arm as the leg that's in front, side bend. So you laterally stretch over to that side. Maybe gaze over the shoulders. And then come to the center and go the opposite way. Now if your fingertips are not touching the floor, you can use the block again on either side of your body. So we're just moving side to side. We're just starting to warm up the body. And then come to center. Take a deep breath. Inhale, raise up. And as you exhale, hands come down in front. Pull back halfway, step this leg back. As you step the opposite leg forward, and lunge. And now as you lunge forward, let me show the alignment on this side. Front shin bone is vertical, back hip is driving forward, but both hip bones are moving in the direction of the front of your mat. Good. One hand to your thigh, other hand to your thigh, and if that is enough, stay there. If you'd like, open up, come to that back extension. Now only go back as far as is comfortable. If you feel a lot of compression into your low back, keep your body weight forward or even keep yourself supported. Breathe into it. And then bring your hands forward. And then gently pull back. Front toes come up as you come back. We're going to just rock forward and back. So we come forward into the lunge. You reach and you lengthen. Bringing the hands down. On your next exhalation, pull back. So again, just an easy, rhythmical movement for you. Let's call this a little bit of a yoga dance. Right? So we're just moving. The next time we come up, we stay up. You're going to side bend, taking that hand down towards the floor. Then inhale and go the opposite side. So the fingertips move towards the floor as you gaze over the shoulders. Again, just getting into the lateral side of your body, breathing. And then come to the center. Inhale, raise up. And as you exhale, hands come down. Bring your hands on the inside of your foot. Pull back. And now bring the inside edges of your feet together, knees wide. Sit back into your child's pose. So the opposite movement of the low back from the lunging now, we release the low back into a little bit of flexion. Walk both hands over to one side of your mat, lengthen out. Inhale to the center, opposite side of the mat. And then coming back to the center, spread your hands into the floor, shoulder width apart, and then shift your weight forward and walk your knees in. So your thighs create a vertical line, your arms create a vertical line. That's the strongest architecture of your bones. Curl your toes under, float the knees up, and then just become aware of your core, your shoulders. I'm just going to turn so you can see, but you guys keep going. You want to have a softness in the elbows so that you could sway side to side. So you've got energy and strength in the two sides of the body. And then find center, find equal. Inhale here as you exhale, heels go down towards the floor. Sitting bones lift up, you come into that inverted V position. So you're downward facing dog. And then just walk your feet, one heel up, one heel down, walking it out. Good, and then both heels move towards the mat. Pick up all 10 toes and wiggle the toes if you can. Spread them out. And then let the toes naturally just place to the mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into a standing forward bend. And if you've got a lot of tightness through the back of your legs, bend your knees. Let your upper body drape. And again, you can take your hands up higher. Stay up higher. You could use a block underneath the hands or fingertips to the floor, whichever feels best for you. Soften the knees, and from your pelvis, roll the pelvis under. So you roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, release. Let's do that again. Inhale, raise up. Bring your feet together. Exhale and let it come down. Now push down through your feet and find equal weight into your right and left foot. And just rock right and left. So just a gentle and subtle shifting of your weight. And then find center, where you're equally weighted. Push down through the feet, bend the knees slightly as if you're going to push your feet and imprint them into the ground. Inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Let's refocus on our breath. We're going to move into our standing series of poses. So these are energy poses, right? Inhale. Exhale, let the arms come down by your side. Inhale, raise the arms up over your head. Extend the spine slightly. Now exhale, come into a forward bend. Hands to your shins, feet, or the floor. Inhale, create length in your spine. Hands to the shins if that feels better for you. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat. One foot steps back, the other foot steps back. Come into your strong plank pose. Now in plank, firm your leg muscles. So your quadricep muscles track the knees up. So just soften your knees for a minute. And then lift up through the quads to lift the kneecaps. So you firm the legs. Keep that sensation as you lift the hips up and back into that full down dog. And now let's walk the feet again. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Rolling it out. Breathe in, breathe out. And so let's take the heels towards the floor and walk the feet in closer together. So they're quite close together here. Lift your right leg up nice and high. So you open up that right hip. Inhale here as you exhale. Draw the knee through the central line of your body. And now in this position, in order to get the leg to step forward to a lunge, you've got to lift up. So you lift up through your core and then come back. So you lift up and exhale back. Good, pull up, core training, and lower. One more time, pull up and extend up. Now we're going to do it at the exact same time as you step forward. You're going to pull up. So step forward, pull up, and then that foot lands to your mat. Now align that shin bone vertically. Back toe is lifted, or back heel is lifted. Rise up. Crescent lunge. Breathe through it. Now as you come into that crescent lunge, try to square the hips towards the front of your mat. I'm going to go this way for you, so you can see. Your back hip tends to want to drift back, so roll it forward as if you're engaging your inner thigh and trying to grip the inside of the back leg towards the opposite inner thigh. Breathe through it. Hands can be behind your back. Interlace your fingers and open the chest. And then hinge forward so your chest comes towards your front thigh without resting your body down. Keep energy and keep lengthening, reaching. The arms lift up. The chin is slightly tucked. Good. Let the arms reach out to the side. And now shift your weight onto your front leg to lift your back leg up into a balance. Warrior 3 pose. So the back leg lifts. Now if you find that you lose your balance at any time, just touch the floor or foot down and then reset. Reach the arms overhead if you like. Keep reaching the fingertips in one direction and the lifted leg in the opposing direction. Now split one arm up and one arm down. So swimmer arms from Pilates. Alternating one arm up, one arm down. Maintain your focus. So as the arms work dynamically up and down, it keeps challenging the body to respond to the movement. 2 more. 1 more. Hold steady. Lift the knee up to a knee balance. And lower the foot down and walk it out. That was fun. Good, come to center again. Deep breath, inhale, raise up. Exhale, hip hinge forward, lengthening through the spine. Inhale, create length, bend your knees, hands come to the mat, and then walk your feet back to your plank pose. Find your strong plank, soften the knees a little bit, and then lift up through the kneecaps and get strong. Good, and then lift up, downward facing dog. So lifting the opposite leg up, opening it up through the hip. Come forward to that shin hovering above the mat. Now contract the core, lift. And then extend back. Let's do it again. Come in, lift. Lift up through the core. Extend back. Do it again. Lift up. Extend. This time step forward, find your lunge. And then find the balance to bring yourself up. Crescent lunge. So start to melt the hips down into that space that you've created. That front shin bone vertically aligned, back heel is lifted, inner thigh rolling in to grip towards the opposite leg. Hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, open up the chest, and then hinge forward, bringing your body forward without resting down. Keep length, keep energy projecting through the torso as the arms lift up. Breathe. So good. If you're just joining us, I see some people have just joined us. Pick it up wherever you are, maybe do a little bit of warming and then pick it up, reach the arms out. As the arms reach out to the side, we're going to transition to that warrior three. Lift, 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 lift. Find your stability. Balance requires focus. So if your mind starts to drift, the body will follow. So if you're finding it challenging to balance today, try as best you can to just bring yourself to this present moment. Then reach the arms overhead. One arm lifts up, one arm are down, and we alternate. We sweep one arm up, one arm down. So as the arms are moving, the torso, the trunk, your core is stabilizing to keep you in this balanced position for 4, for 3, for 2. Remember that back toe can always touch down, and then lift yourself up to a knee balance and lower the foot down and walk it out. Good, feet together, take a deep breath, inhale, raise up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, bend your knees. Now you've got a choice, you can jump or step back. Find your plank. Lift up, downward facing dog. Breathe into it. So from this position, let's walk your feet right together. Legs right together. We're going to come forward to a plank. Lift your right leg back behind you. Come to a pike. Come forward. Lift your left leg. So a little core and upper body. Go back. So alternate leg lifts. Now if you're finding the alternate leg lift is too much, keep both feet down and just work through it. Now we're going to add on the push-up. What? So we lower and we come back. We lower and come back. Now you can always bend your knee and go back. So as the leg comes up, the opposite knee can bend. Can we do 2 more? Heat starting to rise in your body. 1 more each leg. That, and then hold your down dog. Rest in child's pose if you prefer. Take your right leg, pick it up, open up that hip, bend the leg across your body. Inhale here. Exhale, step that leg forward to your right hand. And then turn your back heel in and down. Sweep your arms open. Come to warrior 2. So in warrior 2, the lower body is strong. The torso aligned. And the arms float. So let the arms just float. So warrior 2, take a moment to glance at the front knee. You want to center the knee over top of the center of the foot. Sometimes the knee wants to drift in or out, so we're going to activate the inner and outer thigh equally to each other. The back foot, the outside edge of the foot, is pressing into the floor. Now, straightening out your front leg, turn the front palm up and lift up into extended triangle, opening it up, breathing. Right. From there, reach forward, bend the knee, sweep the arm down, maybe the forearm rests, maybe the hand comes down and we go all the way overhead. Extended side angle pose. Rotate, look up into the upper arm so you really open up that top rib cage. So those 3 poses, warrior 2, extended angle, and our extended triangle are going to come together. Come up, warrior 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, you can come down to forearm. It's our little yoga dance again. Open it up, warrior 2. Inhale, exhale. Let's do it 2 more times. Warrior two, at your own personal style, your own personal dance. It's your living room, your workout. But one more time. Your yoga practice today. Reach and hold, lengthen, lengthen. And take the arm that's overhead, circle it all the way around and down. Lift your back heel up and come to a lunge. Let the hip come down. Now you may choose to soften the back knee down or keep the back knee lifted, but from your back hip roll in and then let the ribs rotate and then open up into rotation. Gaze up towards that top hand, but the rotation comes from your hip through your trunk. So remember, the low back does not like to rotate, right? The hip has got a lot of potential. The ribs and the shoulders have a lot of potential for rotation. So you want to sense that rotation from the hip and rotating through. For all of my golfers in the room today, right, it's like the golf swing. We start from the hip and it rotates through the shoulders. Take the hand down on the inside of that foot. Lift up, step back, come into your downward facing dog and just roll the feet. So we just roll from one foot to the other foot, rolling it out, breathing through it because you've got the other side to go. So come to your downward facing dog, lifting the opposite leg up. Bend the knee across your body, lifting the kneecap towards the ceiling so you really feel an openness through the hip. All right, the upper body is still square, the shoulders are still square. Inhale here, as you exhale, step forward to where the left hand was. Turn the back foot so that the heel comes in, and then sweep yourself up to your warrior. So remember, strong through the legs, torso aligned, ribs over top of the hips. Arms are extended, yet there's softness through the arms. No tension in the face. Breath is deep and strong. All right, so warrior two. Check out the alignment of that front shin. So the shin bone creating a vertical line, the center of the knee over the center of the foot. And again, for some of us, we may drift in or out. So engaging the inner, the outer thigh to find that balance. Straightening the front leg, taking the front palm up and then reaching up. Lengthening, opening up this whole rib cage. So from the toes to the fingertips. Good, and then sweep forward. Elbow can come down or hand can come towards the inside of the foot or the floor as you lengthen out. And then rotate the rib cage so you start to revolve the ribs open and the gaze can come up into the upper arm. Good, we're going to move between all of those. Come to your warrior two. Then open it up, straightening the front leg. As you exhale, come down, reach out, and again, go to the depth that feels right in your body. It's your practice. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Reach and lengthen. So start to create a movement with your breath. We open, lift, and lower as you reach. One more time on your own rhythm. Warrior two, reaching up, coming down, reaching over. Remember, the depth of this pose is your choice. Take the arm that's overhead, circle around. Bring the hand down. Bring your back heel up. Back knee can be down if you prefer. Rotate from the hip to the rib to the shoulder and open up. As you hold your revolving lunge, check in with your breath. Breath should still be full, even through your inhalation and your exhalation. Remember, if you feel tension, exaggerate that exhalation to release some of the tension that maybe is in your body. And from there, take your hand on the inside of that foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Feet hip width apart. Shift your weight forward. Lower down in your push-up, knees or toes all the way down. Roll the shoulder blades back, point the toes away. Come into back extension. And then exhale and lower and lengthen. We inhale and extend. You exhale and lower. 2 more times. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and lower. Inhale and hold. Now you can stay here in cobra or push through the palms of the hands, activate your legs, spread through the feet, lift up, upward facing dog. Roll through the feet, downward facing dog. So a little core and upper body challenge again. Come forward, lower all the way down. Inhale, extend, or upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Float forward, lower down. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Float forward. Knees can be down. Extend. Stay down if you want. Push back, child's pose if you want. We have 1 more repetition. Forward, lower, open, exhale, push, and hold your down dog. Breathe. Right? How good does that feel? Let's lift your heels, bend your knees, look to your hands, jump in, cross your ankles, and sit down. Yay! Just rock your hips side to side. We made it through the standing poses. We're into the floor poses. So we're going to start with our boat pose. So heels down, legs together. Hands behind your thighs, lean back. Now, feel as though the chest or the sternum lifts towards the ceiling. The chin slightly tucks so the head aligns with your spine. Now, you can hold on in your boat pose, and I'm going to progress it as we go. So you decide where you want to go today. We will have 4 boats. Here's our first one. All right. Our first boat pose is just finding what is the angle at which I want to take my body back. Right? Now, each of us is different because our weight of our upper body is different, our flexibility is different, our strength is different. So when you hinge back, go to the place where you feel a quiver, a deep quiver. You're saying, I already feel that, right? I already feel the quiver. Hang on to wherever that is for 4, 3, 2, and come up. Let's complement it with a forward bend. Let that tension go. Now this is where the belt comes in handy. If you're like, my forward bend, I got a lot of tension. Put the belt around your feet, right? And then just assist yourself into that forward bend. Good, and then come up. So I did say 4, right? So we have 1 done. Bend your knees. You can do the exact same thing if you want. Or float your legs to a tabletop. Now the tendency when we lift the legs is we rock back into the spine. And that puts a lot of compression into your lumbar spine. So you want to lift the feet, yet lift the rib cage and that sternum up. Let go and hold. So balancing boat. You're just balancing that boat right on the back edges of your sitting bones. Right? And if you find that you're rocking back and you're feeling compression in your low back, use your arms behind your thighs. Hold for 2 more, 1 more, and then feet down. Inhale, lengthen. Again, use your belt if you'd like to. Forward bend. Let the tension go. So our next boat pose, we're going to add rotation. So I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what's going on. Bring yourself up. Okay, so feet can be down. Lean back into your V-sit. Feet can be up. Hands together. Thumbs to the center of your sternum and elbows lifted. Now your thumbs are going to stay connected to your sternum. The rotation comes from the ribs. So rotate to one side. Come center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. So the entire rib cage moves as one. The pelvis stays centered. Breathe through it. Breathing in, breathing out. Make sure you keep going for 2 more. 1 more. Hold it here. Feet come down. Extend the arms up. Lengthen into your forward bend. That's 3 of 4. How you feeling? Good. So now, if you are using the belt and you've got the belt around your feet, we're going to keep it around your feet. If you are using your arms on your feet, then you're going to keep your hands to the sides of your feet. Okay, so here we go. Come on up, bend your knees. Remember, these are all options. This is our final one. Extend up. Push through the belt, find your balance. Or you are just there, right? So the legs are actively working. The heels are pressing away. You're either using the belt to help you be there, or you're using complete and total core strength to stay there. For 4, whoops, I'm tied up to my belt. 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, extend, inhale, exhale, lengthen down. Let the tension go on the neck, the shoulders. And then inhale and bring yourself up. Okay, so belt. If you're using a belt around your foot, bring it around the foot. If you haven't got a belt, don't worry, you can hold onto your leg. Okay, so take it around your right foot, bend your left leg, and then take the leg straight up. So, with the leg straight up, if you can reach your foot with your hand, you don't need the belt, just reach the foot with your hand, so your choice. Opposite leg goes straight. We're going to take the leg in a 360 motion. So, the left side of your body stays still. All right, let's just start with some hip mobility. Bend the knee, and then just stir the hip around. So we just circle the hip. And then reverse the direction. Right? Ha. Yeah, you can stay with this or extend the leg, and we're going to do the same thing. Circle the leg. Make a nice big circle. And then reverse the direction. One more. And then hold here. Flexing gently, heel pressing towards the ceiling, lengthening from hip to heel. Take the leg that's lifted, turn the toes out gently. So there's a slight external rotation. Take the opposite hand onto your hip and anchor that hip down as you take the leg out to the side. And as you take the leg out to the side, you want the leg to either rest into the belt, or if you don't have the belt, use your arm to support the leg so the inner thigh muscles can relax. You want to relax into it. Inhale, bring this leg up. Exhale, bend your knee. And then straighten out the leg and close your eyes. And you will notice there's a big difference between the two legs. The leg that we just worked is going to feel longer, lighter, more grounded perhaps. All right, so bend your knees. Take the opposite leg into your belt. Extend the leg up. And find that straight leg just to start with, and then extend your opposite leg onto the floor. Now if that's too much stretch for you, bend this knee until eventually you can straighten the leg. Eventually you want to straighten the leg so we can get this hip flexor at the front of the hip to release and open. So let's just start with mobility. Bend the knee, circle the leg in one direction. So the leg comes around, and then reverse the direction because we're going to take it into full range of motion. Right, and then come up. So now, big circle with that leg. This is where the belt can come in handy because the belt will then guide your leg around. So if this is your first time practicing with me, just next time find any kind of belt that you have in the house. I find your belt off your robe works really well. Opposite leg, go around, breathing through it. Good, and now come to the center, flex the ankle, press the heel towards the ceiling and find the length through the entire back of the leg. And just notice where you hold the most tension. Maybe it's up in the hamstring, but maybe it's more into the knee or the calf or even the foot or your low back. Where is that for you? Turn the toes out, so slight external rotation of the hip. Anchor your right hip down as the leg goes out to the left. And as the leg goes to the left, Let it hang in the belt or support underneath your leg so that your leg is not working against gravity. Right? The one force that we always have working against us is gravity, coming down, straight down on us. So when we are trying to release tension, we need to be supported against gravity. And then inhale, bring the leg back in. Exhale, bend your knee. Release the belt from your foot and extend both legs out. And hopefully you have more symmetry between the two sides of your body. You find that there's a balance between the length of both legs. Now, if you've been practicing with me, you know my favorite yoga pose, and that's the one I'm going to give you now. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Now, if you do not have a yoga block, right, I would use anything like a rolled towel can be really helpful. So if you didn't have a chance to get that at the beginning of the class, don't worry about it. We can just rest on the floor. So we're going to take the long edge of the belt, the long of the block, not the belt. It goes underneath the pelvis. So you're going to push your hips up, slide the block underneath the pelvis, and then just let the pelvis rest onto the block. This is a great counter pose to being seated, right? So if you're sitting behind your computer all day long, right, or sitting on the couch watching Netflix, right, whichever it is. I've actually got addicted to a show on Netflix lately. Okay, anyway, that's a sidebar. We'll let all of the tension of the weight of the pelvis go into the block. And this may be where you want to stay. Now, if you don't have a block, you can still go into the next exercise with us. Turn the palms open and roll the shoulders back. As you're going to lift the chest upwards. So you almost feel like your upper back is going to a little bit of extension. So we open up the space in the front of the chest. And then lift one leg at a time. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. So if you are not on the block, you can put your feet up on a chair. You can put your feet up along the wall. Or you could just lie on the mat with the legs up. So we've often said this phrase before, but have you ever thought about it? Just put your feet up, right? So at the end of a hard day, or when we're really tired and we just need to rest, a common saying is just put your feet up. Well, there's actually a physiological response when you put your feet up. So when we put the feet up higher than our heart doesn't have to work as hard. The blood flows back to the heart easily, and the heart starts to calm. And even more importantly, the nervous system starts to calm down. So our nervous system is automatic, and we have an excitation nervous response, and we have a calming nervous response. So the calming nervous response is called the parasympathetic nervous system. And when we put our feet up, when we go into restorative poses, it calms that nervous system. So it lowers your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, your anxiety level. Bend your knees, and then place one foot on the floor at a time. And as you place the feet down, press through the feet to lift your hips away from the block if you're working on the block, and then lower your hips to the mat. And then just close your eyes and let your knees rock side to side. So as you let your knees just gently sway in a windshield wiper sort of a way, just notice what you're sensing in your low back. How is the low back doing? How is your body feeling? Right. And then take another deep breath here, and then as you exhale, reach your arms over your head and extend your legs out long. So you find length through your fingertips all the way out through your toes. And then exhale, let your arms come to a resting place for you, maybe along the side of your body, maybe resting on your torso. Let the legs fully extend as we come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Now let's just all together, even though we're not together in a room, let's send out positive vibes throughout the universe by taking a deep breath in and then exhale. And let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. Let the weight of your body rest into the floor. Now as your mind starts to get busy again, let your mind calm down by staying present in this moment. Shavasana, or corpse pose, for many of us is the most challenging of all poses, because our mind starts to take over and perhaps move us into the future or draw us back to the past. So our work in this pose is just to stay present. Presence to the sensations and the feelings that you have within your own body. Your awareness of your inner world, your breathing, your heart, your sensations. And just slowly bending one knee at a time. Bring your knees in towards your chest and just gently rocking. And then roll to one side. And then bringing yourself up to a seated position where the whole thing began. Finding your comfortable cross-legged position. Inhale, raise up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down the center line of your body and your thumbs to your sternum, your gaze soft. And just take a moment to honor yourself, take some gratitude to yourself that you took the time for your health and well-being today. And rise up, got eyes coming to each other. In our virtual world, right, namaste. Thank you for coming today for the practice. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. So tomorrow we have our bar class. So tomorrow's bar, so I look forward to seeing everybody there. Check in online for the times of the class, because some of you I know are coming from outside of Calgary where I am, so I will post the time for Mountain Standard Time, but check in for when that's going to be happening in your location. So again, thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and until we see each other again, namaste.